Hi everyone, I want to welcome you back. Welcome to Module 2, where we're going to spend a lot of time discussing what you need to create a professional brand message. To review, you've heard me talk about your professional brand message before, especially in our orientation program and through our coaching sessions. So your professional brand messaging will help you attract and connect with hiring managers and all kinds of other people who can help you land a job. Everyone has a professional brand or identity or value they bring, but many of us don't know how to articulate it with purpose for a career search. Having this way to identify yourself for others is the perfect solution to answering that question that we hear all the time: tell me about yourself. Marketing professionals use brand messages all the time to market their products to the right audience, what they call their target audience. How do marketers know who their target audience is? Well, they do tons of research. They ask a lot of questions of consumers to learn more about the value the product offers. They actually create a thing called a buyer persona that describes the characteristics of the person who is likely to buy the product. You probably know this. We can do the same thing when we want to market ourselves to companies and hiring managers. Instead, we'll do the research about ourselves, our characteristics, our personalities, our strengths, our skills, and our values. We also want to do research about the company that we're interviewing with, but we're going to handle that in another part of the program. I'm going to keep emphasizing this point. If we can become more conscious and more self-aware of who we are, our strengths, our best personality traits, any decision we make becomes so much easier. We just have to remember to use this information. My new friends, this is the main point of the entire program. Become more self-aware and use all of that information to help yourself make any decision, especially as it relates to your job search. I want you to think about this for a minute. What are your favorite stores, brands, services, or social media platforms? Now think about why. What value do they bring to you? Pause the video now so you can think and write your responses in the places I provided in your workbook. Now, I'm always thinking about food. If we think about ice cream, for example, like Ben and Jerry's, it's delicious, fabulous mix-ins. It's easy to find and consistently good. Now let's transfer that same value concept to you. You can be creative, a great presenter, analytical, a wonderful leader, a great teacher, all of these things. And these are all the qualities we want to share with a manager so they can connect you with what they need for a web designer, a graphics artist, a software engineer, and so on. Employers hire analysts, managers, and executives not only to do the mechanics of the job, they also need leaders to inspire employees. They want colleagues that know how to effectively influence their peers to reach a goal, and they need people to motivate their team members or other employees to work smarter. Believe me, you are way more marketable than you know at this moment. Wait a minute, I'm not a product, is what some of you might be thinking. Actually, you already have a brand message whether you know it or not. You have one. The question is not whether you have one, it's how you want to manage the brand that you have. Also, your brand messaging must include what you're looking for in a future job. In other words, it should contain who you are and what you're looking for. It's not just about a sales pitch. The message has to express your career identity, your authenticity, your passions, and your professional brand allows hiring managers to associate you with the potential results you bring to a job. But there's more. Your professional brand reflects the results you can bring along with your values, your purpose, or your why. They need to be sure that you're a great fit for the company and its culture too. We're going to spend some time defining your why because it's a thread that you're going to weave through every communication you're going to have about your job search. Your why shows others your story. And what science tells us is that people remember your stories and how those stories made them feel, not just facts about your skills. For now, let's see how you use your brand online and in person. Take a moment now and do a quick Google of yourself. You can pause the video to see what you find, and please make some notes in your workbooks. So what did you find? Anything surprising? Anything you need to take down right this very minute? Pause the video again, and now take it down and take down any posts, pictures, or other messages that really aren't appropriate for your job search. Okay, so how about your in-person professional brand? What would people say are your best attributes related to your work? What are you known for? How would others describe you? Because you're following along in your workbooks, jot down a few ideas of what others would say about you and how they would describe you. Pause the video now if you want. What people say about you has to do with your reputation, your skills, and your attributes, and we want you to apply your greatest attributes to your job search and to creating your professional brand, because it's that what's going to set you apart and show the hiring manager you're the right person for the job. To create your professional brand and then to present yourself or promote yourself in the job market, use your newfound self-awareness to express your what, how, and why. And I learned this from one of my very favorite authors and TED Talk speakers, Simon Sinek. So we're here in your workbooks now. And before you go any further, please stop the video and watch the Simon Sinek video. It will inspire your entire brand messaging. The link is on this slide and it's also in your workbooks. Welcome back. Now I want to show you how we'll apply the same concepts from the video to you and your job search. Simon Sinek starts with what he calls the golden circle, and there are 3 parts to the golden circle: your what, your how, and your why. And the what is the product a company produces or the services they offer, products like a computer, a car, a Wendy's hamburger, for example. Most people put a great focus and emphasis on the end product. However, research has shown us it's not just the hamburger, the car, or the game that attracts people to the product. There's a lot more to it. Remember, there's a ton of competition for products we believe that have the same features and benefits, sort of like the pool of applicants applying for a job. However, what truly attracts us to the products we choose are our emotions, and there's a lot of science and biology behind this. So to review from the TED Talk, the science is grounded in biology and human decision making, and we need to consider 2 parts of our brain that correspond to the what, how, and why of the circle, like in the slide. So let's look at the outer part of the circle. The what corresponds to the neocortex, the part of the brain that's responsible for analytical thought and rational thought. It's also responsible for language. That's the outer part of the brain. And it also helps us understand facts and figures, features, and benefits. The middle 2 sections of the circle, the how and the why, correspond to the middle section of the brain called the limbic brain. And this is the part of the brain that's responsible for our behaviors and decision making. It's also responsible for our feelings like trust and loyalty. But unlike the neocortex, the limbic brain does not have the capacity for language. And this is where our gut feelings come from. It's not in our stomach, it's actually starting in our brain, and it's a feeling that we get about a decision or something we experience or something we are struggling to explain. For those people who have N in their personality profile, it's about the intuition that you sometimes get when you're about to make a decision around something. So believe it or not, our biology is one reason why we sometimes have difficulties in putting words to our feelings or explaining our actions or even justifying our decisions, like this just feels right. Again, here's the N part of people's personality profiles. What I believe is what we can put words behind the feelings we have. And lucky for us, we have some assessments and some exercises that give us those words to explain ourselves. So now we're going to pivot to your professional brand. Now, going back to a traditional career search or job search, most people think that the what, or our skills, abilities, and examples of past results, are the most important part of the reason to be hired. Now we know the what is important, but it certainly doesn't tell the whole story. Honestly, many people applying for a position will have all of the same what as you, the same skills, knowledge, experience. It's all really nice and on target. All of these facts and figures and features and benefits are definitely going to fire up the hiring manager's brain and help you connect. But if you want to set yourself apart, show the hiring manager the reason to hire you over the other people. Include your how and why in any job search discussion. So the how is your special sauce behind your behaviors and decision making, the best talents and personality traits behind the what you do. The hows are what the hiring manager's limbic system recognizes to help make a connection to you. That's the point. And your why gives the hiring manager an emotional connection to you that builds trust and information they need to see that you are the perfect fit for the position. So going back to the example with the limbic system, with our why, we can make a connection to the other person's gut feelings. For your why, you can communicate how your values combine with your life's purpose is the reason you are the best fit for any position that you're after. It's the emotional connection you as a human have to the role. Again, your why helps build trust and loyalty. Why is the purpose and reason, how the talents and personality, and what brings the end result. Your professional brand messaging is a combination of your how, your what's, and your why. So let's start with the what. You probably have a reputation for what you know. Think about your personal resume or LinkedIn profile. I bet it's full of the what, which are things like job titles, experiences, skills, knowledge, or even the degree that you earned, certifications too. So in your workbooks, you should see your top 10 skills already copied. These are the what's you need to communicate. We copied your skills there in your first coaching session, and we're going to refer back to that list later on when we start crafting your brand messaging. Let's talk about your how for a little bit. The job market is going to pose lots and lots of challenges. It's going to be super competitive. And people ask me all the time, how do I set myself apart from all the competition? How do I stand out from the crowd? Well, one way to set yourself apart is to act with intention and showcase your greatest assets. And I mean your best behavior strengths and your best personality traits. Most people just focus on their what's. Remember from the first section in the orientation of the course, we talked about how do you combine your strengths with your passions, hoping to help you identify your purpose? Well, now we're going to add in your personality traits. It's very important for you to really live and remember these best traits about yourself so you can act them out consciously or at least be mindful of them out in the big world. How you communicate these aspects of your brand can showcase who you are and the traits that cause you to do the things the way you do them. Again, super important to a hiring manager. I want to help you make the connection between your talents and attributes and the decisions you make and your behavior. And that's the reason I had you take the Clifton Strengths Assessment and the 16 Personalities Assessment. Lots of people find that understanding their personality traits and also their strengths makes it much easier to see themselves objectively. And this self-awareness helps them access their strengths and address weaknesses in ways that actually makes their lives better. And hopefully by now you spent some time digging into the resources I sent to you, like your top 5 talent cheat sheets and links to your personality type. But if you haven't had a chance, why don't you stop the video now and go review those resources. It's going to make producing your brand message a lot more interesting and easier. Like I mentioned in our orientation, with your personality type and your top 5, you have the knowledge and self-awareness you need to build stronger relationships, influence other people, solve problems, and make decisions. So you've all had a chance to take the assessment and to review your type. And all of this information can become very, very handy when you want to describe how you're going to be best out in the world. So the letters in your type tells you how you interact with your surroundings, or how you best interact with your surroundings, which is the I and the E, how we see the world and process information, which is the N and the S, how we make decisions and cope with our emotions, which is represented by the T and the F, and our approach to work or planning and decision making, which is best represented or the letters J and P. So another reason why I asked you to take the personalities assessment is that I want you to walk away with all the words that you've been searching for to describe your preferences or how you like to be in the world. This information is very powerful to have. Now you can have a more easy understanding of how you want to be out in the world. You've already highlighted the words and phrases that resonate most with you and how you'd like to describe yourself and your personality traits. You'll see those descriptors in your workbooks. We copied them there in our last coaching session. Because you took the StrengthsFinder, you now know some of your best behavior traits too, and we'll use those traits to create your how as well. Remember from the orientation, the StrengthsFinder tells us how we best behave out in the world. Your top 5 talents and your personality traits work together in really unique ways and help you perform with excellence in your chosen career. An ideal work environment would allow you to use all of these talents frequently. Another thing you may notice is that people performing the same tasks probably come to doing those tasks differently. And that makes sense because we all have our own individual talents and personality traits, and they are combined in so many different ways. And that's why you see somebody who can come to the same conclusion as you, but taking a different path. Just like with your personality traits, we're going to build all of your best behavior talents into your brand messaging as well. So now just take a minute and go ahead to your workbooks if you're not there already, and just review all of the words you wrote down that describe your best behavior traits. Let's talk about the importance of your values and the role they play in your professional brand messaging, especially your why. Just be sure you're following along in your workbooks. You should be at this slide for now. Now, I love the way Simon Sinek explains your why. Imagine your why is like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. When you know what your puzzle piece looks like, it's much easier to see where it fits or doesn't fit. So when hiring managers can see your why, they can see whether it fits with their company's why or their culture. If it does, well, then the image starts to take form. And in the real world, it looks like a team coming together to advance on a common vision. Your why is what allows you to wake up excited every day to go to work and keeps you fulfilled day to day. It's what inspires you. It's the reason you do what you do. And this is how you connect your work with your sense of purpose. So your values are the greatest clues to those motivators. And when you pay attention to your values and stick with them, you're staying true to yourself and to what's truly important to you. Now, everyone has a why, but some haven't figured out how to articulate it. Actually, most people haven't figured out how to articulate it. But my job is to help you express with words in all your job search and marketing materials what's important to you, your values or your why. Here's something to think about. Imagine there was a time when you went against your values or your why. Maybe you took a job just to take a job, to fill in a gap, or maybe you needed the money. And I bet you might have felt wonky or even in distress. And maybe you second-guessed your choice at that point. And I bet it was because you went against your values. You weren't in alignment with your why. All three parts of the golden circle with regards to your job search are really important. And when all three things are in balance, your what, your how, and your why, well, then you're probably at your natural best. And your natural best is where you want to be when you talk to other people about your career plans and your job search. Your what's, your how's, and your why bring you to life. So you're wondering how all this fits together. Well, I'm going to show you some examples, and then in our next one-to-one coaching session, we're going to build your brand messaging. Now we're going to go through some professional brand messages together and identify the what's, the how's, and the why's of those messages so you can get some practice. And then later on, you and I are going to craft your messaging in our coaching session. By the way, all of these examples are in your workbooks. So here's the example, and what you'll notice is I've separated the brand message into some sections to make it a little easier. And then the orange writing beneath will give you some clues to help you find the what's, how's, and why's, and any specific words. So for now, just pause the video, read through the messages as many times as you want, and then write in your workbooks the person's what's, how's, and why's in the space I provided for you. It's going to take you a few minutes. Just hit play when you're ready to continue. So these are the things that I saw. For what's, I saw 2 years in the tech industry. They were a software engineer, created innovative solutions, saw customer service was important. They wanted to enhance the user experience. They're a coder. They delivered high-quality software solutions. For how's, I saw focus on achieving goals and results, gathers information from teammates, adapts quickly. They have technical skills. Collaboration was important, having an innovative mindset, embrace challenges. They are a continuous learner, a disciplined work ethic, communicates complex technical concepts. They were eager to explore and had a commitment to excellence. So for their why, they said they had a true passion for coding and gained boundless joy by solving complex challenges through programming. Okay, so here's the second one. Same idea. So pause the video, take a few minutes, give yourself some time to review the message, and then write down in your workbooks the what's, how's, and the why's. So what did you see this time? What stands out about this person's message? What did you notice about their what's, how's, and whys? I saw for what's 2 years in tech, web developer in retail and consumer products, create user-centric experiences, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, create engaging designs, creations are future-proof. I really like that one. For hows, adapt swiftly, embraces emerging trends. Creations are future-proofed, like that twice. Optimizes user interfaces. Expertise in React, JS, and Node.js. Collaborate with diverse cross-functional teams. Terrific. And communicate complex technical concepts. Again, terrific. So for their why, I saw it lists potential of tech. They want to inspire change, create digital landscapes that empower every individual, business, and community. Very, very powerful idea there. So now you know a great way to pull together all your wonderful characteristics, traits, and values into a powerful message to share out in the world. So for your next step, it's for the two of us to craft your messaging. We'll start with your brand message, and from there we'll much more easily be able to enhance all your resume and LinkedIn profiles, your cover letters. Basically, I want you to be able to share your best traits and skills and why in all your job search marketing materials. For homework, though, before you do anything else, make an appointment with me, and I want you to check your online presence and change any pictures or any other posts that really aren't appropriate for your job search. I want you to study your top 5 strengths, your best personality traits, all of the resources that I send to you, your cheat sheets, your profiles, and I want you to go back and highlight again, if you haven't already, all the words and phrases that really resonate with you, the words and phrases you think that describe you best, because we're going to use those words and phrases when we put together your brand messaging. The last thing I want you to do is check out a program called Teal. It's teal.com, and sign up. And then I want you to do some searching around for some jobs that really resonate with you, jobs that you think you might want to take on someday. And then when we're in our coaching session, we'll take a look at those jobs and see if your skills and your experiences, your strengths, your best personality traits match up with the role. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, and like I said, make sure you get an appointment on my calendar ASAP.